Hello, Adamus here. Just recording a quick video walking through my drafting kit Excel spreadsheet here. It doesn't show the mouse. If I hover? Okay, so, yeah, just a quick run through on how to use it. The first tab is the picks by map, which, as you can see, is a work in progress right now, but I'm not set on these picks. They're just been ported from Icy Veins, which isn't the best source. So, in theory though, when you go into your draft and you see what map you're on, it'll show you power picks in the blue column here, and picks that are weaker on this map. Now you might notice that not all of the characters are listed. That's because a lot of characters are neutral on these maps. They're neither like amazing or like terrible on it. Also, I'm kind of leaning toward meta picks and not so much like niche heroes that don't see any like team play. Maybe I should explain that. This is more of like a team-based guide, like it's for organized play and not so much like a quick match. When you hover over the map, it shows a list of like conditions that the map holds, and you can expand this to however big you want it. As you can see, Battlefield of Eternity is a small map with 2 lanes, accentuates early team fighting. There's not many camps. It should say the actual number and how this compares to the rest of them. Excuse me. Nope, that was it. Just one. And then what the objective does, basically. And some things to consider in the draft. Like, to fight the Immortal, you need single target PvE damage. This accentuates characters like Artanis, who has amateur opponent, Vela, obviously, Tyrande, who can put her mark on the Immortal, so her whole team can heal it better. Kill it better, not heal it. Malthael, Varian, same thing with Colossus Smash. You can actually use it on the Immortal. Yeah, so, like that. If you hover over strong, weak, it explains what I mean by that. Like, yeah, so that's picks by map. Then it brings us to the solo lane matchups, which all of this data is basically ported from Ryoma GG's guide. However, I don't really like the way he did his 4 spreadsheets, all of which I've condensed into this one sheet. So you've got your matchups. Color gives you the rough idea of the left side is your hero, top side is the enemy hero, just like any chart like one of these. I didn't think I needed a header for that, but so you go to where you've picked. Let's say you've picked Sonya, and then the draft proceeds, and you're up against, let's say, Ragnaros. You can see that you're favored in the matchup by a pretty good margin. And if you hover over that square, there's some tips on what to do in the matchup when you're solo laning. That's pretty much that. It's incomplete as the guide that I ported it from is not super new. It hasn't been updated in a little while, but that's fine. I'll be doing my own updates as I collect the data. Yeah, let's move on. Tier lists is, this should be hidden, is a list of all the heroes. Somebody has rearranged the list. I usually keep it in ranking list. And these are the different sources that I use to aggregate the average score. At the time I made this, it was mass, or what are they calling it? Support apocalypse, where all the supports got nerfed. So the supports are ranked pretty highly. Only time we'll see if they come down. Yeah, it's pretty standard list. Normally these are hidden too, but colors are the class. So blue is warrior, green is support, red is assassin, and what I use yellow for specialist. It also lists them by their role: healers versus utility supports, melee carries versus ranged DPS, tanks versus bruisers. So if you're really new, you can unhide these tabs, but I think most people using them will already know. And then the real reason that there needs to be a how-to video in the first place is the drafting like chart here. When you, as the draft is proceeding, you can use this to add your heroes to it. Like, let's say we first pick Rehgar. We'll add him to our list. Okay, so as we can see, he's pretty highly ranked. He's got good wave clear. Not so great crowd control. He's not really a solo laner. His siege power is kind of average. Jungling, I've lowered him to average. He used to be really good. And then synergies and counters. Like, he goes pretty much in any composition, which is what you want. And then let's say they pick up... I'm just trying to simulate a typical draft. Sonya and... who's good? ETC. So, as you can see, their wave clear is decent right now. They have really good crowd control. Potentially with Sonya. Like, Leap is good. Poison Spear is not so much. They have a solo lane already. So, now you know what matchup you're going to be looking for. You want to look down the Sonya column for a good matchup. So, Rexxar, Zagara. Yeah, Sonya's a really good solo laner. She doesn't have a lot of counters. So, most likely you're going to want to look for... okay, Dahaka, Falstad, Lyric is fine. Thrall. There you go. And they've got a jungler. So, right now they have a pretty strong draft. Right now, okay, so we'll go back to ours. We've got 2 picks before the next ban phase. I don't think there's any reason to do bans on this chart, like, just sort of, but yeah. So we'll go back to ours, we'll click where the arrow says to, and let's say we want to pick up, okay, we've got our main healer. Right now we need a DPS and a tank. ETC is taken, and that will not be represented on the list. I don't know of a way to do that right now. So what would we want? Let's assume both teams are like timed out their ban and didn't use one. We'll go tank. Murden's fine. And let's do Greymane. Oh, whoops. I forgot to click on. Okay. So now we've got a good jungler. Now our siege power is getting really decent. We can put on a hard push. We don't have a solo laner yet. Greymane can do it, but it's kind of iffy. That's not really represented in the chart. Maybe I should have a like a mediocre quality for this. I'm not going to explain why I said all that. Greymane is just kind of like an iffy solo laner. You use him if you have to. Crowd control, Murden picks up some. Rehgar, Greymane didn't grab any, so we're still kind of weak on crowd control. And Murden's not great wave clear, but that's fine. That's pretty rare for a tank. So next is their ban phase, and then they're going to pick up. So right now they've got their front line. They really need to pick up some damage classes and some healers. They would probably grab, in the meta that I made this, they'd probably grab Vela, and then Kharazim or Uther or Brightwing, depending on the map. That's the other thing. Maybe I'll add a map column here, but like where they're particularly good. Yeah, get the Vela in there, and then let's just say they've got a pretty aggressive composition. Let's say they grab Kharazim for their main healer. And then it comes to our last 2 picks. We've got a pretty good core here. what we need is some utility. We need a Soul Lantern, so let's grab Dahaka, because that's one thing we're missing. And then we've got our flex position. So let's just say we want to take Tassadar to deny it the enemy team and get a little more wave clear. And yeah, that'll be our second support. That's a pretty good team. And let's say that they want to do double assassin and they're going to pick up Li Ming. So both teams have their draft. You can see, let's see. Their camp taking is not super strong. Their siege power is pretty decent, so you have to look out for that. They forgot to draft a... No, they didn't. They've got a solo laner. Sonya's their solo laner, which is fine. Crowd control is very good. You'll have to watch out for blow-up comps, or like blow-up moves, like nobody overextending. Their wave clear is not the strongest, so you might be able to beat this team on rotations. Like, your team has excellent wave clear. Only Muradin's the bad. So you might, along with the Dahaka here, value kind of like a macro playstyle and try to force them to meet you on rotations, because they're going to be looking to team fight. They've got kind of better crowd control than our team, and double assassin. So they might be looking to pick fights and blow up people while you've got better sieging power and mobility and healing. You're looking for an elongated fight. That's kind of how to use this tool. It helps you to sort of craft a draft. And if you want to look at the hero pool to pick something, rather than going back to the tier list, which might not have all the information that you're looking for, you just do select all. And then that gives you the whole list. And you can, if you're looking for a particular role, you can sort by that. If you're looking for someone that particularly is like good jungler, like you'll go to the yeses and look through these heroes and find something that also fills the other roles that you need. That's just a general way to like use the guide if you're not super comfortable with just drafting on the fly. So anyway, I'll probably be adding to this and maybe redoing the video in the future based on how it evolves, because it's like a living document. It's an ongoing thing. As you can see, this is like another tab that is only applicable to the team I'm playing with at the moment, so that's an entirely different thing. Don't worry about that. And yeah, I guess I'll just leave a link to the document in the video. So there you go.